Sure, here's a YouTube article on the GAZ Volga Siber 2008 without any handing condition phrasing. GAZ Volga Siber 2008, the bold Russian-American sedan fusion. When we think about Russian cars, especially from the GAZ group, we often picture utilitarian designs built for endurance rather than luxury. But in 2008, GAZ made a bold move that shocked many in the global automotive world. It launched the Volga Siber, a car that wasn't entirely Russian and certainly didn't follow the blueprint of earlier Volgas. This model was a fusion, a partnership, and a statement of ambition. In this deep dive, we explore how the Volga Siber came to life, what made it different, and why it's still one of the most interesting chapters in the history of GAZ. A new chapter, GAZ in the post-Soviet era. GAZ, short for Gurkovsky Avtomobilny Zavod, was known for producing tough, practical vehicles like the Volga sedans and the Gazelle commercial vans. But by the 2000s, Russia was modernizing rapidly, and GAZ wanted to shed its image as a Soviet-era manufacturer stuck in the past. The company needed a vehicle that could compete in the growing Russian middle-class market, a vehicle that looked and felt modern, comfortable, and refined. Rather than design a new car from scratch, GAZ took a shortcut that made global headlines. The Chrysler deal, a strategic leap. In 2006, GAZ made a strategic purchase, the production tooling and rights to build the second-generation Chrysler Sebring and Dodge Stratus from Daimler Chrysler. The deal allowed GAZ to manufacture these American sedans under its own brand with some localized tweaks. And just like that, the Volga Siber was born, not from the drawing board, but from a factory swap. To bring the Siber to life, GAZ transported entire production lines from Michigan to Nizhny Novgorod. The project was not just about technology transfer but also symbolized a post-Soviet Russia integrating with Western design and engineering philosophies. Design, American skeleton, Russian soul. At a glance, the GAZ Volga Siber looks unmistakably American. That's because its body and chassis are mostly unchanged from the Chrysler Sebring. However, GAZ did attempt to give it a more Russian flair by redesigning the front and rear ends. The new grille featured the GAZ logo, and the headlights were reshaped to appear more contemporary. The Siber measured about 4.8 meters long and had a smooth, flowing silhouette, far from the boxy, rigid lines of earlier Volgas. It was a mid-size sedan by global standards, and inside, it featured a dashboard that was almost identical to the American version. Still, GAZ localized the interior slightly, improving insulation for Russia's cold winters and adjusting the suspension to handle rougher roads. Under the hood, a familiar engine. The Volga Siber came with either a 2.0L or 2.4L inline-4 gasoline engine, both of which were Chrysler-sourced. They weren't the most powerful in their class, producing around 141 to 143 horsepower. But they were reliable, easy to maintain, and suited for the Siber's commuter-friendly DNA. A 5-speed manual and a 4-speed automatic transmission were available. The ride quality was comfortable for Russian roads, thanks to tweaks in the suspension system, but handling remained soft, more tuned for cruising than cornering. Features: a leap in comfort. Compared to previous GAZ models, the Siber felt like a luxury car. It offered power windows and mirrors, air conditioning, leather seating in top trims, dual front airbags, optional navigation and sound systems. This was a big leap for a brand that traditionally focused on mechanical ruggedness. GAZ was clearly targeting business-class buyers and families who wanted a car that felt Western but was priced competitively. Manufacturing and launch. GAZ launched the Siber in 2008 with ambitions to produce over 40,000 units per year. The company invested heavily in refurbishing the Av2 GAZ plant to meet higher quality standards. However, the timing couldn't have been worse. Just as the Siber hit the market, the global financial crisis of 2008 unfolded, crushing demand for new cars. Additionally, the Russian car market was flooded with affordable used imports from Japan and Europe, many of which offered better features at lower prices. Despite these challenges, GAZ managed to produce around 9,000 units in the first year. Market reception: a mixed bag. The GAZ Siber received praise for its comfort, quiet cabin, and familiar Chrysler dynamics. But it also drew criticism. Here's why. Pros: comfortable ride, smooth engine options, Western-like styling, unique identity in the Russian market. Cons: outdated technology from the early 2000s. Lower quality interior plastics compared to competitors. Limited service knowledge at Russian workshops. Perceived lack of true Russian identity. The Siber was, in many ways, too American for traditional GAZ fans and too Russian for premium sedan buyers used to Japanese or German brands. Legacy and production end. GAZ ended production of the Siber in 2010, having manufactured fewer than 20,000 units. It was a disappointment in numbers, but the car left behind a unique legacy. The Siber represents a bold experiment in post-Soviet automotive engineering. It showed that GAZ was willing to take risks and modernize rapidly, even if it meant abandoning its design roots. And it helped Russian engineers gain exposure to modern global manufacturing techniques, an investment that benefited future GAZ commercial vehicles. Collectible status today. Today, the GAZ Volga Siber is a rare sight on Russian roads. Its limited production, unique origin, and bold ambition make it something of a cult classic among enthusiasts. Collectors appreciate it for its uniqueness. A car built in Russia with American DNA, serving as a historical footnote in a decade of transition. Conclusion. The Siber's place in Russian automotive history. The 2008 GAZ Volga Siber isn't just a car, it's a symbol. A symbol of ambition, of globalization, and of a Russian automaker trying to reinvent itself in the 21st century. While it never achieved commercial success, its legacy endures as one of the most daring projects GAZ ever attempted. Whether viewed as a failure or a stepping stone, the Siber deserves recognition for what it represented, a bridge between two very different automotive worlds. Would you like the matching YouTube title and description with hashtags for this article?